Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on demand care for common ailments such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stluke'sonline.org.
In collaboration with Boise State Public Radio, the Community Library presents a new podcast, Sheep Stories. I'm host Vance Cunningham. Join me as we listen through the archives of the Trailing of the Sheep Festival to learn about the Scottish, Basque, and Peruvian immigrants foundational to the sheep herding industry over the past century. Hear their stories of traveling to Idaho and learning the language of the sheep. Find Sheep Stories wherever you get your podcasts and at boisestatepublicradio.org.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Gaudet. You know, speaking up can be hard at any age, but especially if you're a child experiencing a scary situation. And that's why organizations like Casa of Southwest Idaho are so important. They actually train volunteers that help lend a voice to children in foster care, advocating for their best interest. But without enough volunteers, it becomes easier for children to slip through the cracks, which is why the nonprofit is asking for help. So joining us now to talk more are Executive Director Alicia Horrocks and Program Director Jenny Easley with Casa of Southwest Idaho. I want to welcome both of you to the program.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So Alicia, let me begin with you. For those who aren't familiar with Casa, tell us a bit more about what you do.
Yeah, so we are a standalone nonprofit. CASA is also a national nonprofit, so we do partner with them in ways, but we work on our own independently. So our main goal is to be a voice for children in foster care as they're going through their CPS cases. We recruit and train volunteers to be a steady person for them throughout their case. So we train these volunteers, they're assigned to a case, and they will go and visit the children every month. They will find out different medical things, recommendations from teachers. We'll talk to anybody that's involved with the child. And then we are court appointed. And so we are actually a party to the case. And we are the eyes and ears of the judge. And we report to the judge from all of our findings, what is in the best interest of the child. So we make sure that their voice isn't lost during their court cases.
And Jenny, so who are the children we're talking about here? I mean, what kind of situations are a lot of them coming from?
Yeah, so our kids are children who entered the child protection system for any number of reasons. It can be abuse, neglect, parental substance use. And so it's any child who comes within the purview of the child protection court. We get appointed as soon as a child has a shelter care hearing at the beginning of a case when a child is removed.
And how many children on average do you serve?
So from fiscal year 25, we served 504 children. And I say in the last 3 years, we've stayed steady within that 500 to 600 amount of kids. And we also, as CASAs go, there are other CASAs around the state of Idaho. We serve the 3rd Judicial District. We are serving the most amount of kids in Idaho right now.
And so, Alicia, you are experiencing a shortage of volunteers right now. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple different reasons. The department has really pushed out some numbers about foster parents in the area, and kind of what they're doing with that. Though the state numbers are looking great when you break it down by district, our particular district is seeing about 73 per 100 children foster homes. So we're lacking in homes. I think with some of the narrative and things, I think it may have become like, oh, we're doing great. And so we aren't necessarily in need anymore. So we've seen a lack of foster parents. And then that has also come and affected our CASA, and we've seen less volunteers coming through. Because I think it's creating a picture that we're in good shape. And the truth is that I think in child protection, you're never in good shape. There's always more people that can help. There's always more volunteers that we need. There's always more foster parents that we need.
So, talk to us about what volunteers do, Jenny, and how is it different, maybe from like a social service caseworker?
Sure. Yeah. A Casa volunteer really becomes an integral part of the case. They are interviewing family. They are and working alongside family. They are working with the parents. They are um, working with the schools or children's counselors. We're gathering information about the child um, to report back to the court to help make recommendation about what the children need. And so we are court appointed, and we are there to focus only on what's best for the child and to share that perspective with the courts. A social worker is a professional hired by the state of Idaho to manage the case. They provide services to the family, they make sure the child's needs are met, and they work on a reunification plan. But we are the child's voice in court, and our
Mm.
full focus is on the child.
And Alicia, what kind of difference does a CASA volunteer make for a child? In particular, what Jenny just said about really being the voice for this child.
Yeah, so our Casa volunteers make a huge impact on these kids. For one, they're providing a stable adult that is staying with them through a process in which they may be switching foster homes. They may not be talking to their parents. Family may be long away and they're not able to get support from them. So we're that steady person that comes in and stays by that kid's side the whole time. I think in so many other ways, kids who are in the foster system who have a CASA are 8 times more likely to graduate from high school. They're less likely to offend and be put in the juvenile system or things like that. Yeah, I think we provide something that no one else can, and these kids need us.
So Jenny, what goes into becoming a volunteer? I mean, does someone need a certain type of background or a certain time, amount of experience, as a volunteer, somewhere else? Talk to us about that.
Sure. When a volunteer is interested in volunteering with us, and we love to have people from all different backgrounds volunteer with us, they would get onto our website and fill out a, I guess, a volunteer inquiry, and
Hmm.
then they would go on to have an interview with our volunteer manager. If they decided to go forward, they would have 30 hours of pre-service training with us, given over the course of a month. That's a blend of live classroom time and self um, study time. And then we go on they are required to do 12 hours of additional training every year to stay eligible to be able to be a volunteer. They are assigned to one of our staff members who are called advocate supervisors. So they don't have to do this by themselves. They don't have to become an expert in child protection. And they are mentored by somebody on our staff through their case. They are taught how to write the court reports. You don't have to be a social worker or a lawyer, although we have volunteers with those backgrounds too. We really like to have anybody from any background, because something that's unique about being a CASA is that we are not part we work alongside the child protection system. We are not part of the different entities who are bound by all different kinds of rules and policies. We do have rules and policies too, but we get to really work alongside and be just an outside voice, an outside perspective, to be able to point out when things aren't going quite right and what can we do differently for a kid.
Well, I want to thank both of you so much for taking time to speak with us today. We've been talking with Executive Director Alicia Horax and Program Director Jenny Easley with CASA of Southwest Idaho about the need for volunteers. I'm Gemma Gaudette, and this is Idaho Matters.